Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, on my channel, I'm always telling you guys, live an active lifestyle, make smart nutritional choices, move more and sit less, right? Fight against the laziness. It's not about what you look like in the mirror, but about how you feel. It's not about perfection, but about consistency, ladies and gentlemen. That's the key to health and fitness, ladies and gentlemen, right? And in this channel, on this channel, I'm always telling you guys, right? I'm trying to give you guys different advice here, right? And I'm always telling you guys about the bodybuilding routines, right? And I'm telling you guys that you're not a bodybuilder. Most people in this world, most people that go to the gym, 99% of the people are not bodybuilders, ladies and gentlemen. However, more often than not, when you go to a gym, what do you see people doing? Bodybuilder routines, bodybuilder workouts, isolation exercises, bro split routines. It doesn't make any sense, ladies and gentlemen. That's not going to help you in life. We should be training fitness and health to be better at life so that we feel better, right? So that we can move better, right? So that we could do simple everyday things in our lives without it being an issue. Because I've told you, as we get older in life, things become harder, we move slower, we become weaker. All these things are true, our minds, our bodies, everything, right? So we must be able to combat this stuff, the degenerations, right? Things of, osteoporosis I've talked to you guys about in this channel, right? The brittleness of our bones. So in order to combat these kinds of things, we must live the active lifestyle, make smart nutritional choices, guys, right? This is the key. Not perfection, but about the consistency. But whenever I hear people talk about bodybuilding, I don't think they understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that bodybuilding doesn't have a place. I'm not saying that bodybuilding doesn't work. For bodybuilders, absolutely it does. If you're doing things the right way, right? You're taking the drugs, right? You have great genetics, then you might be able to be successful in bodybuilding. But the key there is you must be on the chemicals, ladies and gentlemen, because bodybuilding is all drugs and genetics. That's what it is. So when you're taking advice from bodybuilders who are on chemicals and all kinds of stuff, and you're looking at some of these guys and you're like, damn, I want to look like this guy. Remember, this is drugs and genetics, ladies and gentlemen. So you're not going to look like that person. You're never going to look like somebody else. And that's not what you should be striving to be, because that's not health and fitness, ladies and gentlemen. That's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is to go on a stage and pose and, look like you're strong, and it's all show, no go, ladies and gentlemen. They're not training for health or fitness. They're not trained to move better. They're not trained to feel better. Because most of those bodybuilders, they might look fantastic to you, but they feel like garbage inside, ladies and gentlemen. And I've said this many times. They look great, but they feel like garbage, guys. These guys are on death's doorstep more often than not, because bodybuilding is not healthy, ladies and gentlemen. It's not health and fitness bodybuilding. It's all about looks. It's vanity. That's what it is. So these bro split workouts, these isolation exercises are not going to help you with anything other than isolation exercises, guys. They're only making you good at those exercises. That's all bodybuilding routines are. These isolation exercises, these leg extensions, these leg press machines that you see, all this nonsense, these bicep curls that you see people doing, the tricep extensions. None of this stuff is going to help you in your everyday life. They're going to make you better at those exercises because they're isolation, and that's not how the human body moves. The human body does not work in isolation. So I've given you guys the example of the bicep curls. So bicep curls. I never do bicep curls. I haven't done a bicep curl in probably over 10 years. I don't do this isolation nonsense. And I told you guys, I got a 50-pound dumbbell right here, right? 50 pounds. You see that? 50, all right? And like I said, I never do curls. Never do dumbbell curls, guys. But I guarantee you I can curl a 50-pound dumbbell, no problem. And I've never done a 50-pound dumbbell, or I haven't done curls, dumbbell curls in forever. But what do? I do things like pull-ups. These are the kinds of things I do, right? I do carries, right? So you guys know I do the farmer's carries where I'll get like a heavy rock and I'll walk back and forth with it. What is that doing? That's forcing me to use my pulling muscles, right? So not only am I using my arms, my shoulders, I have to also use my back muscles to keep this weight and stabilize it. But not only that, I have to use my legs. I'm walking with this weight. But not only that, I have to use my core to stabilize myself or I'll fall over from carrying the weight, right? So you must be able to stabilize your core and walk with the thing. So you're using all of these muscles in your body, right? Your body's working in synergy together. Muscles working in unison with each other. So I've always told you guys, you go to the gym right now and you watch somebody that's curling the weight, curling a decent amount of weight, right? They're doing these dumbbell curls, right? You look at that person, they might have great biceps, because I'm not saying that you're not going to have bicep development doing these isolation exercises, because that's what bodybuilders are looking for, development. But they're not looking for function. They're not looking for a goal. They're looking for a show. And I told you, it's not going to translate over into the real world. So if you see someone curling a decent amount of weight, they might have nice biceps, but I guarantee you guys, that does not translate to pull-ups. So those people won't probably be able to do 10 strict pull-ups. However, if you show me a person in the gym that can do 10 strict pull-ups, not chin-ups, someone that can do 10 strict pull-ups, right? I guarantee you they can curl a decent amount of weight, even if they've never curled a day in their life, because that's going to translate over. The strength will translate over to curls, guys. I'm telling you it will. So like I just told you guys, I don't do bicep curls. I'm not the strongest person in the world. I don't claim to be. But I'm telling you guys right now, just because I never do curls don't mean I won't be able to do them. I can do them because I do pull-ups. So once again, these are the kinds of things that I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, now there's a one-arm curl, right? And like I said, I don't do curls, guys, but I can curl the 50s, all right, without much body English here. All right, and I'm not saying that the 50s are the hardest weights in the world. There are guys that are 10 times stronger than me that curl way more weight. What I'm telling you is that this translates. The exercise that I do, full body routines, right, multi-joint movements, things like pull-ups translate to the real world strength. Things like farmer's carries translate to real world strength, ladies and gentlemen. These isolation exercises are not going to translate. It's going to maybe make you look better in your t-shirt, but it's not going to make you move better or actually have you function better, guys, in real life scenarios. All right, so remember that bodybuilding routines are to look good. That's a goal. It's all show. All right, so don't train in isolation. Do not do bodybuilder routines because you're not a bodybuilder, ladies and gentlemen. All right, remember this.